specifically for the area that we have highlighted here in this darker coloration inside the red box. Areas like Bay Minette, Stapleton, Loxley, Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, not included in this warning. This is for far east central Baldwin County around County Road 64 and County Road 87 for a possible tornado tracking east along the Styx River and tracking towards the Perdido River near Barano Park. And we do see heavy rain on the north side of Pensacola too, lightning and thunder, more over towards Milton, but not indicating anything tornadic. We may see some small hail going on, maybe even some medium-sized hail here near Cantonment over into Escambia County along Highway 29, showing a 3/4 inch hail. So that is some significant hail there, perhaps the size of quarters possible in Cantonment. It's been a long couple of days with multiple severe thunderstorm warnings and a lot of severe weather threats, a lot of rain in the inland areas. Some of that has transitioned a little further south, closer to the coast this evening. Big storms are now exiting Okaloosa County and heading over into Walton County. And you see the heavy rain coming through Mobile at times. We even had some downpours around Midtown and downtown. We're in a little lull now. Plenty of rain up towards Georgetown and Chunchula, and then it picks up and is severe with that tornado warning right now for Baldwin County. So we've got team coverage going on right now here on Fox 10 News. For another set of eyes on this, let's send it over to Nicholas Herboso. And Nicholas, we are seeing rotation there in Baldwin County, but it's not as strong as it was when the warning was first issued. Hopefully that trend will continue.
Yes, so this is something that we've been seeing the past really few hours with some of these storms. So, and it's a typical setup whenever we have a little bit of wind shear in there where we could have a very, very brief, very quick spin up tornado. And it looks like it's very possible that we could have had one here. But thankfully, communities really not much here. No communities really being impacted, no major communities. It's very sparse populations, and I'm looking at it on the maps right now, and really there is mostly just forest as it approaches the Alabama-Florida line. However, if you are in Cantonment right now, Highway 29 there, kind of just north of Pensacola, you are dealing with quite the thunderstorm with plenty of lightning. I showed that lightning earlier. Lightning strikes 300, 400 in the past few minutes. So plenty of lightning. It is a loud thunderstorm out there. And this little rotation area is tracking towards the Cantonment. However, these rotation areas have been short-lived. So really, we just need to keep updated with it. You need to stay with us. We're going to always keep you updated online as well and make sure that you're getting the latest information that you need if something like this does happen. And it looks like the rotation has gone kind of down in intensity right now. So the main focus for us is a very potent thunderstorm now moving through Cantonment. Let's take a look back at it. Let's see what's going on. We have broad rotation, and I'm going to circle it here. We have inbound and outbound winds on the radar. Inbound, the green, pointing towards Mobile, where the radar site is, and then red, outbound, pointing away from where the radar is. And we've seen some interesting pictures today of wall clouds, rotating thunderstorms along this boundary that's been producing all these thunderstorms. Notice not everybody dealing with rain, not everybody dealing with these thunderstorms. If you're in Fairhope, if you're in Gulf Shores, Foley, you've dealt with nothing, and that's just kind of how it's been, bone dry. But some areas like northern or central Baldwin County, I should say, and central Escambia County now dealing with a very strong thunderstorm. Also, we're noticing a little bit of intense wind possible, at least in this area. I'm going to circle it now. Around Highway 196 in Escambia County, Florida. That's north of Cantonment, an area where we could have some stronger winds. And let's take a look at what the radar is reading here in terms of velocity, around 50 miles per hour. So that is not at severe criteria, but it is definitely a bit of some stronger winds. And we are monitoring the NWS chat. We're in contact with the National Weather Service to see what's going on. And one of our good friends down there, let's see, possibly producing a tornado. Another circulation possible. So yeah, there's like little light rotation areas, and you know, we're in constant contact trying to get the best information for you. But right now it does not look too impressive. The thing that is impressive is the rain, the lightning, that is a loud thunderstorm that is moving through central Escambia County now and in central east central Baldwin County as well. So once again, looking at it on radar, plenty of stuff going on there. But if I were to pull out and give you a bigger picture of what's going on, as you can see, you are in Escambia. And actually, you know what? We're going to continue that tornado warning, it looks like, until 7:10. Thunderstorm capable of producing tornado was located 12 miles northeast of Robertsdale, moving east at 20 miles per hour. So they're keeping that going. But notice the rest of the radar picture. If you're in Escambia, Monroe, Conecuh, Clark, Washington, Jackson, George, Greene, Mobile, you are not dealing with anything. It is just one storm that we are focused on, and we have to be focused on it because there is the potential of a tornado, even though it is a low potential. So, Jason, what do we have going on here? What are you seeing now?
Well, they're continuing this warning for us, and so they just put out a new update here within the last minute, as you said. And if we look at it on radar, you can actually see still there is a hook signature to some degree on reflectivity, and this is embedded with a lot of rain. So we're not going to be able to see this possible tornado here this evening. This is not one to go out and storm chase or look out the window and try and find. Okay, County Road 87, Styx River runs right underneath the road, right there near Interstate 10. And that's where we have the rotation area. There are some, this is a very rural area, but Middle Fork Road, and then we've got Bullpen Road, and then this is 112 on out to the east. So we're definitely looking at storms there. And this is all headed to the east at about 20 miles an hour now. So we do have that inbound, outbound velocity, Nicholas, and we have the potential for some hail out there too. We've seen some hail in our area today. So let's look around the area and see what else was going on out there if you see any potential of hail in our area right now.
Yeah, and looking at the hail tracker, I mean, there's some areas, but I do want to mention this. So this is coming from the National Weather Service, and I think this is an interesting thing. I'm going to switch back to just regular radar here and kind of reset this. This kind of area, and I'm going to circle it on the map. We've noticed this in the past. We had some interesting video of wall clouds even, so rotating thunderstorms, as I mentioned earlier, and it's this kind of general area in the boundary here. So this kind of general area where we could see just some increased rotation. And you might have heard it if you joined us on Fox 10 News at 4 and 5 o'clock. We talked about the stationary boundary that's there. And sometimes when these storms interact with this boundary, you can get a little increased rotation. And it looks like that's what's happening. So we have had to issue, the National Weather Service has had to issue a tornado warning because they felt that there was an ongoing tornado or something really close to it, a very good indication of rotation on the radar. And that's what these storms have been. They have been very clear indications of rotation. We've been watching them all day, but this has been the first one to get warned, and it's moving through a generally rural area right now. So the main story here, in this area, some of these storms could have increased rotation, especially the ones that get more robust. Let's zoom back in and see what's going on here. So,
and not the hail that we had earlier as much because the instability may be slightly lower, but now it's rotating more because we are seeing, this thing kind of slowing down, and the forward speed of these individual cells are slowing down too. And we still have that hook right there near County Road 87 right here at the Styx River Bridge. And this is tracking close to Bearno Park. So Bearno Park is not a real large community. It's really just a crossing on the Perdido River. And I would expect this possible tornado to move across some of these logging roads here and over towards 112 and then cross the Perdido River very close to Muskogee, Florida. And that's right there at 112 and the Perdido River. And then you get into an area where it's very highly populated when you get over here into Cantonment here along Highway 29. So these are the areas that are in the path of this storm. We put a forward track on it. Nicholas put a forward track on it here, moving east at about 20 miles an hour, and so that would bring this into the Muskogee area by 7:44. It's not in any big hurry. We've been seeing a lot of thunderstorms moving at like 50, 60 miles an hour the last couple of days, but this one is slowing down. And then we've got it near Santa Maria Plaza and Farm Hill Park by 7:54. Storm Tracker doing a really good job of picking up some localized neighborhoods here. We've got it in the Cantonment area by 7:57 if it's still held together as a rotation area at that point. And then it could be after 8 o'clock before it makes it over to Gonzales. So this is a rotation area. It's not a confirmed tornado at this time. It is Doppler radar indicated, and we do have it tracking to the east. So if you're anywhere around County Road 87, the Styx River and County Road 87, or Highway 112, or the Perdido River here in Baldwin County, specifically between Barno Park and Cantonment and Muskogee in the Beulah area, then you need to be seeking shelter for a possible tornado. And Nicholas is drawing the direction of this warned area as it's moving in the general direction of the Perdido River. And when we talk about the Perdido River, you see this squiggly line here? That is the Florida-Alabama line. And the Perdido River runs right down that line and runs underneath Interstate 10. And so far, it looks like this cell has been just north of I-10. So it's not actually on the interstate from what we see right now. And we just got to do volume scan, which would place it here. The possible tornado would be located north of I-10 and south of 112, holding steady here near the Styx River. And again, a lot of timber property right in here. There's Champion Paper Road right there. So you know we're out here away from a lot of the residences, although coming off of 112, you start seeing some neighborhoods right in through here. So we'll have to watch out for some of these streets and roads as it gets closer to Muskogee. You're getting closer here to Pensacola and just closer to the Florida line, and you start to pick up more residences here than you do, say, right there where the actual rotation is going on. So we are looking at this thing getting closer to an area of concern where we start to have a more highly populated area than where it is right now. We are getting some updates on this from National Weather Service chat. Nicholas, what are you seeing there? Yeah,
they're continuing the same wording that they are, but one thing that I'm kind of looking at generally is just gustier winds with this storm. In the area where the rotation is, we do have a decent bit of rain now wrapping around it. In fact, let me clear this. What you can see is essentially an inflow notch. I mean, that's no way I can put it. What does that mean? Well, air is actually flowing into the storm here, and then we have air wrapping around the storm here. You're getting this kind of circulation, and whenever we have this kind of general rotation, we could see a tightening up of the rotation, therefore a brief tornado dropping on the ground. Now, what kind of tornadoes will we see today? They will be very, very weak, if anything. We're not expecting much, but there is the possibility of a brief tornado that could cause a little bit of damage. So just be thinking about that. We do have that very low threat out there for the evening hours. So we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 9 o'clock, and it is 7:18 right now. So we are under some warnings. We've been under all this threat for the past couple of days, and here we are now finally dealing with a tornado warning. If you are in Cantonment right now, you are dealing with plenty of strong, heavy rain. Also plenty of lightning. Lightning now increasing a little bit within the storm itself, and as you can see here, plenty of lightning there, plenty of lightning strikes now showing up. So that's causing a noisy storm. It's a disruptive storm, especially as it gets into a more populated area. So what do you need to be doing right now, especially if you are in Cantonment in central Escambia County, Florida? You just need to be inside. That is your best course of action right there. And as we get these new scans in, we keep watching. The winds look to be intensifying a little bit, as you can see in the brighter colors there. If the winds are intensifying, we could see some gusty winds out there. You just want to be inside. There's nothing too crazy with this storm. We're not dealing with a confirmed tornado on the ground, but we're dealing with a circulation and gusty winds and plenty of lightning, a disruptive storm that's about to move through a more populated area. And with that, we're on the air letting you know what's going on. Jason, once again, we're getting new scans in here. It does look like there's a bit of a core of at least stronger winds with this. And with these thunderstorms that we've seen today, we've seen areas of rotation, and those are usually located with some very gusty winds. So if you're not getting a tornado, you could see some wind gusts well over 60 miles per hour here in parts of Baldwin County. And we want to look at, we've talked about this, we're under a severe thunderstorm
watch, and then we have a tornado warning in effect right now for extreme east central Baldwin County. Let's look at that severe thunderstorm watch and the rest of the advisories that we have going on in the area right now. So the area that is in a tornado warning right now is this area in red. So that's our tornado warned portion of the storm. Baldwin County is a very large geographical area, so this does not include Stockton or Bay Minette or even Gulf Shores or Foley. This is confined to the Gateswood area and right along Styx River, from just past Styx River Resort now over to County Road 87 and close to the Perdido River. There's another advisory up right now for a flash flood warning that's in effect for Crestview, Florida here, for the potential of flash flooding ongoing there. The entire purple area is a severe thunderstorm watch, which will stay in effect until 9 o'clock this evening. So it's still very active. And today we've seen about 30 severe thunderstorm warnings issued. We've had a ton of those, some of those with considerable and destructive descriptions or tags with them. This is a tornado warning, which is our first tornado warning of the event today. And it is showing rotation that is not moving nearly as fast as the severe thunderstorms that were occurring earlier. And you can see through the lighting right there, there is the hook signature here, and it hasn't moved much in the first 15 minutes of the warning. It started out back towards County Road 64, which is right here, probably moved about 5 to 7 miles now across County Road 87, and this rotation area is now located between County Road 87 and Highway 112. So just past County Road 87, Styx River takes a turn and goes underneath the interstate, and then you have mainly just timberland right here, but once you get over to 112, you start picking up on a lot more development here along Highway 112 that leads out of Baldwin County and then heads across the Florida line, crosses the Perdido River at Muskogee, and it looks like this will end up south of the Barano Park area, which is a little further up the Perdido River there. So this is moving across over into Escambia County. It'll be interesting to see if this warning is continued over into Escambia County. There's no question that it is a severe thunderstorm. The question is, do we actually have a tornado on the ground? We've been checking it with our
yeah,
let's do this. Let's go to Nicholas with more.
I wanted to mention something real quick because I think this is a good example of a tight rotation couplet versus a not tight rotation couplet. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to back up this radar a few frames, and let's see what I like here. That one. There you go. So take a look right here behind me. This is what a very strong circulation looks like on a velocity product, where we have strong winds, and indicated by these pixels right here, the green pixels. We have strong winds, and let me get the right tool here so I can do this, going towards the radar site. The radar site is in Mobile. Mobile's over here. Strong winds going towards the radar. And then right really close to it, and I mean the distance here, this is a distance of less than a mile. The winds going outbound away from the radar in very close proximity. So we have this kind of really tight circulation. This is not live. This was earlier. Now let's go to now. And I will move this back so we can see where the circulation is now. Much broader. There's more distance in between what we see here. We see the strong inbound winds and then strong outbound winds with more distance. And that's the kind of signatures that we look for. So if you see the brighter pixels right next to each other, that's when we're talking about the possibility, a higher probability of a tornado. In this case, not so much. And with that, they have gone with a severe thunderstorm warning now for Escambia County and getting into Santa Rosa County. That was just issued. That will go until 8:15 p.m. And I'm trying to see if they will continue the tornado warning, but we are not 100% sure. It's not the most likely thing based on the fact that we've seen that this rotation area has broadened out. But it's a really good way to see the contrast between a strong rotation area, as indicated as it was earlier there. In fact, you can see it as it intensified over kind of the forest here. And then once you go towards the current picture, it is weakened. And you notice also how quickly that time frame was, where it was just a few frames of the radar. So just a few minutes where we have a brief little spin up And that's just kind of how the air works. There's a little bit of turbulence. We get a brief spin up, and then the rotation broadens out. So that looks like what has happened there, and it's been a consistent thing. We've seen similar things almost happen. This has just been the best signature so far.
And as far as the severe thunderstorm warning, that's a decent sign that this tornado warning may be allowed to expire at 7:30 p.m. And what we're looking at is a little different looking radar product than what we normally show you. So when we normally look at radar and we're showing where the rain is heavy, we use something called reflectivity. And that's what this is right here. This is what you're accustomed to seeing here. That shows us where the rain is very heavy. But the advantage of Doppler radar is that not only can we see where the raindrops are, but we can tell if they're going towards the radar or away from the radar. And when we see that happening in a close proximity, then we have gate-to-gate shear rotation indicative of a possible tornado. And so that's what Nicholas was showing you there. It's just breaking down the science of how we're able to see there's actually rotation within a thunderstorm. Of course, you can see a thunderstorm on radar because you can tell it starts to look orange and red and dark colors, right? But we also can see what's going on with the rotation. In this case, it's gotten very broad, and so when the National Weather Service tipped their hand and said we're going to go ahead and continue this as a severe thunderstorm warning, it was a good indication that they were going to drop the tornado warning, and this tornado warning has just been allowed to expire. So a brief tornado warning there in Baldwin County. We're going to get back to programming, but wanted to let you know that we had this warning going on, where it was. Tornadoes can be a life-threatening situation. Now we're no longer under a tornado warning, but if we see any more warnings or any areas of concern, we'll break in and let you know what's going on here on Fox 10 News.